What's going on, Midnight Mafia? I am in my secondary studio right now, actually making a new video for you. And these new videos, 3 stories in every one, but I'll wait till later to explain that. But this is a collaboration I did with Strange Bar and Grill, and now it's coming up on this channel. So take a look, make sure to hit that like button, and I hope you like it. Oh, and don't forget, this is the second collaboration me and him have done. The first one will be linked in the description, so check it out.
It's not the kind of organization that holds meetings or flies flags, or even has clear leaders. It lives almost entirely in the shadows of the internet, but its influence stretches across borders and has already left a bloody mark on the real world. What began as a twisted online game between predators has evolved into a decentralized cult of chaos. It's a network of neo-Nazis, child predators, sextortionists, sadists, and extremists, most of them terrifyingly young, who have learned that in a digital age, violence buys status. And at the center of it all is a splinter group that's even more dangerous than the rest. They call themselves No Lives Matter, a play on the Black Lives Matter movement, but they have a different mission, and their mission is simple: spread terror, glorify violence, and destroy anything and everything in their path. Today I have a special guest with me, Mr. E-Files, a good friend of the channel. We were chatting the other day and he mentions today's story to me. We were so shocked by it, so we decided to do a collab video. And this is our second collab, so if you want to check out our previous collab, I'll leave a link in the description. But enough yapping, let's get into the video. To understand No Lives Matter, you have to start at the beginning, with a dark web of predators operating under the names COM and 764. COM/764 started as a loosely organized group of online extortionists. At first, their targets were primarily vulnerable women and underage girls. They lured them into traps, groomed them, and extorted them for explicit material, known as CSAM. But unlike typical predators, these weren't isolated individuals. They were part of an echo chamber, a toxic stew of teenage rage and antisocial behavior. Inside their hidden forums, they didn't just trade horrific images, they traded status. They ranked each other by the number of victims they had, the severity of the material, and the amount of emotional damage they inflicted. They even gamified it, like some perverse leaderboard of suffering, and it escalated quickly. Leaked messages from COM/764 servers show members fantasized openly about evolving past extortion, dreaming of taking their depravity into the real world. They weren't content with just screenshots and stolen videos anymore. They wanted blood, and that's when the No Lives Matter group broke out on their own. While COM/764 still operated in the shadows of exploitation and grooming, No Lives Matter took a step further. They became the militant wing of this disturbing network. They didn't just fantasize about chaos, they celebrated it. They instructed it. Their manifesto makes their intentions painfully clear. We idolize death. We seek the purification of mankind through endless attacks. It's not political, and it's not religious. It's pure nihilistic hatred of life itself. They distributed kill guides so detailed they read like military field manuals, step-by-step instructions on how to conduct knife attacks in crowded places, execute drive-by shootings, construct improvised explosives, ram vehicles into pedestrian zones. These manuals even included psychological tactics, like how to appear calm before an attack to avoid suspicion, and how to maximize casualties in confined spaces. And they work. In at least 2 cases, these guides have been directly linked to real-world attacks in both Europe and the United States. The scariest part? These weren't just some dusty PDFs floating in dark corners of the web. These guides were shared publicly, in Telegram groups, Discord servers, even reposted on mainstream social media before moderators could catch them. But No Lives Matter doesn't just rely on manuals. They run a full-scale propaganda machine. In hidden chat rooms, members swap violent memes, videos of mass shootings, and glorified footage of attacks. They remix footage from Columbine, Christchurch, and Buffalo, overlaying them with eye-catching graphics and edgy music designed to recruit more followers. They idolize mass shooters as heroes and promise recruits that violence is their pathway to immortality. One Telegram post uncovered by counter-terrorism researchers read, "Become legend, spill blood, get remembered." And these aren't just idle threats either. Members are constantly dared to escalate their crimes for clout within their group. In leaked audio chats, you can hear members goading each other. You gonna just sit there? Or are you gonna top someone already? The name Tobbs refers to one of No Lives Matter's most infamous members, Nino Luciano, a mentally unstable German teenager who joined 764 during the pandemic. Sent to a foster home in Romania, Tobbs carved 764 and satanic symbols into his skin, covered his room with the group's slogans, and eventually took his obsession into the streets. In March of 2022, he live-streamed a brutal stabbing spree. An elderly woman died. An old man was critically wounded. Tobbs' attack became a rallying cry across No Lives Matter channels. Screenshots of the livestream flooded their forums, celebrated as the moment their online fantasies became real. From there, the violence snowballed. In Sweden, a 14-year-old attacker linked to the group committed 8 separate assaults with a knife. In Italy, a 15-year-old boy stockpiled explosives and planned to murder a homeless man on camera as part of a so-called Week of Terror. In the United States, a Romanian teenager tied to com/764 phoned in hundreds of bomb threats to schools and places of worship across dozens of states. Baron Martin, known online as Convict, ran a grooming network and even plotted to murder the grandmother of one of his victims, offering payment for a hit in a Discord server. Solomon Henderson, a Tennessee teenager, merged neo-Nazi ideology with 764 dogma. His devices were loaded with videos of extremist shootings, child abuse, and disturbing homemade content where he praised past mass shooters. Solomon would then go on to open fire in the cafeteria at his high school, killing a 16-year-old and injuring a 17-year-old, before pointing the gun on himself. Yeah, a black Nazi. This guy did it before Kanye West. I think Kanye owed this dude some royalties or something. What do you think? But let that sink in. A black Nazi. What is going on the internet? What is going on with young people? I shouldn't even say young people at this point because Kanye is doing it, right? Like, what's going on? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Now, these aren't disconnected lone wolves like the media might have you believe. This is coordinated chaos. Part of what makes No Lives Matter so hard to stop is how they target recruits. They prey on the disenfranchised teenagers, isolated and angry, looking for belonging in all the wrong places. Through memes, edgy in-jokes, and viral violent content, they transform horror into humor, making brutality seem rebellious and even cool. You want to know what one of their most chilling phrases is? No lives matter, not even our own. This philosophy isn't just self-destructive, it's weaponized. It convinces young people that committing violence, even sacrificing themselves, they can finally achieve status in a world that has ignored them. Experts say this isn't accidental. Barbara Molis of RAND Europe explains, they carefully engineer their messaging to make violence seem like a logical step. It's a deliberate strategy to radicalize the vulnerable. Authorities worldwide are racing to catch up. Tech platforms are working overtime to shut down their channels, but like a virus, the group mutates faster than they can respond. Even when a server is nuked, backups pop up within hours, and invite links are spread like wildfire. One investigator summed it all up. They're digital cockroaches. You kill one nest, and 10 more emerge. The group's influence spans continents. Intelligence agencies have identified active cells in the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Sweden, Italy, Romania, Mexico, and growing footprints in Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. Their reach is terrifying, but what's even worse is their unpredictability. Because they cherry-pick from dozens of extremist ideologies, there's no clear profile. One attacker might be a neo-Nazi, another a self-proclaimed anarchist, another a nihilist, with no agenda beyond carnage. This fluidity makes it almost impossible to predict where they'll strike next. Now, this is the reality we're facing. A decentralized global network of young extremists who treat murder like a game and wear chaos as a badge of honor. And at the heart of this growing storm is a name that shocked even veteran counterterrorism officers. That name is Cameron Finnegan. A 19-year-old from the United Kingdom, Cameron wasn't just a follower, he was an active recruiter, a propagandist, and a living embodiment of the No Lives Matter philosophy. He operated under the chilling alias, Acid. He possessed one of the infamous No Lives Matter kill manuals. But what's his story? Well, that's where Mr. E-Files is going to take over.
Thanks, Strange. That was really well told. And now I'm going to tell you a different part. But if you thought what he just said was disturbing, well, it's about to get even darker. Because while the chaos of No Lives Matter spread like wildfire across borders and servers, one name rose from the noise and left investigators stunned. And it was a teenager from the UK operating under the handle Acid. But his real name, though, wasn't that cool. It was just Cameron Finnegan. And what Cameron did next would push even hardened law enforcement officials into unfamiliar territory, where grooming manuals and violent manifestos weren't just circulated, they were being used. And this is the chilling story about how one young man embraced the darkest corners of the internet and nearly helped drag others down with him. But you see, Cameron wasn't some mastermind, hiding in the shadows. In fact, at first glance, you probably wouldn't have even looked at him twice. Just 19 years old, British, living what seemed to be an unremarkable life. But behind the screen, he was anything but ordinary. Because online, Cameron became deeply embedded in this toxic ecosystem of Calm/764 and No Lives Matter. Operating as Acid, he didn't just consume the group's propaganda, but he pushed it. He flooded chat rooms with violent rhetoric, shared extremist content, and more disturbingly, he actively encouraged other young people to embrace the ideology of death. And of course, like any terroristic group, one of his primary tactics, easy, target the vulnerable. Leaked chat logs reveal that Cameron preyed on younger users in particular, persuading them not to only engage in No Lives Matter dark philosophies, but to actually go out and take action, encouraging self-harm, life-ending, and even violence against others. And according to court documents, Cameron urged multiple minors to unalive themselves, and he reveled in it. And the way he did it was cold, calculated, and methodical. I guess you could say at this point he became a recruiter for chaos. But it actually gets worse. You see, when police finally searched Cameron's digital footprint, they uncovered one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence: a No Lives Matter kill manual. And it was packed with not conspiracy way off things, but practical, real-world instructions on carrying out attacks. And this wasn't some internet hoax or edgy PDF floating around as a joke. This was the real thing. And this manual contained step-by-step guides for knife attacks, firearm assaults, vehicle ramming techniques, and bomb-making components. And chillingly, it detailed not just how, but the when and where to maximize casualties. The mens rea here is just off the charts, and it explained how to avoid detection, how to create diversions, and even how to boost your attack online for maximum attention afterward. And Cameron, no, he wasn't just a passive reader of this material. Evidence shows he actively discussed its content in these encrypted chats and used it as a tool for recruitment. And through his alias Acid, Cameron worked to bring new members into the fold, spreading the kill manual and encouraging others to follow its grotesque instructions. But you see, he wasn't even acting alone. Chat logs and intercepted messages show Cameron engaging with a global network of extremists that were sharing tactics, laughing at past attacks, and praising others for escalating violence. Basically, the exact type of people that you would not want to bring to your birthday party. And even at one point, messages show him urging members to carry out attacks specifically aimed at public spaces in marginalized communities, echoing the broader No Lives Matter strategy of targeting schools, LGBTQ+ events in heavily populated areas. Now, I don't really care what you believe, but I think we can all agree as a good, sane, moral, prudent person that may believe in religion or may not, that you don't go around targeting groups of people. It's just wrong. Cameron's influence wasn't just rhetorical. Authorities believe that his online activities accelerated the radicalization of multiple young people, pushing them from dark curiosity into outright fanaticism. And that's what they were. They were fanatics. And that is what makes this case so uniquely terrifying. He wasn't just a follower of No Lives Matter. He was a catalyst. But behind the scenes, British counterterrorism units had now been watching, quietly, but ever so slightly building a case, tracking Cameron's movements online, gathering digital evidence from multiple platforms. And Detective Chief Superintendent Claire Finlay of Counterterrorism Policing Southeast would later describe the situation as immense in scale and urgency. And when they finally moved in, investigators discovered not only the kill manual, but a trove of extremist material. Cameron's devices were filled with graphic violence, this horrible propaganda, and evidence of his attempts to encourage self-harm and unaliving of minors. But out of all of this, one chilling detail stood out: the sheer volume of the communications. It wasn't just dozens of messages, no. It was thousands. Thousands of points of contact, thousands of threads weaving Cameron deeper into the fabric of online extremism. And Cameron's case then forced law enforcement into a grim realization that he actually wasn't unique. He was representative of an entire generation of radicalized youth, groomed by not a single leader, but by an algorithmic hive mind of violence and chaos. And experts reviewing the case noted how easily he had slipped through the cracks and how dangerously close he came to helping orchestrate real-world violent attacks. One analyst described Cameron's path like this:
he was a bomb with a delayed fuse. The question was never if it would go off, it was when.
And believe me, it wasn't just the British authorities paying attention. Cameron's activities sparked alarms internationally, connecting dots between online cells in Europe, the US, and beyond. This is crazy because a young man like this and his network was global. His reach was real. Today, you could say Cameron Finnegan's name remains somewhat of a cautionary tale. Not just of personal radicalization, but of how extremist networks like No Lives Matter operate in plain sight, hiding behind usernames and coded language while grooming the next wave of violence to come up on the shores. But here's the truly chilling part, and this is true, because for every Cameron that law enforcement catches, there are dozens more waiting in the wings. New recruits studying the exact same kill manuals. And they're sharing the same propaganda and chasing the same twisted form of infamy. So this isn't over, not even close. And the question that lingers long after Cameron's screen went dark is one that no investigator has been able to answer. And this question truly terrifies me, and it should terrify you, because that question is, how many more are out there? And even crazier, do you know one and just don't know it? Thanks guys, my name is Mystery Files. You can find me on my channel, and thanks so much to Strange Bar and Grill putting this collaboration together. Make sure you hit that like button for him and all the rest, please. He would appreciate it, I would too. That's all I got for you guys. Cheers. Look at that absolutely clueless face I'm making right now. But guys, I do have a note for you. I put it up on the post. Read the post, the community post if you want to. But basically what it said is I'm restructuring the channel in a good way. From now on, each upload in each video, you're going to have 3 stories. No more 1 story, sometimes 2, 3 stories. So that way, right when you feel like, oh, 7 minutes is up, I might switch. Oh, wait, a new story? Yes. I'm going all in. So I hope you guys go all in with me. So just make sure to give this a thumbs up so I know that you like the idea. Let's go. See you later. Cheers.